Welcome to Module 5, Lesson 7. Our I can statement is, I can use equations to solve multi-step problems. So we're going to take all of this work we've been doing on multiplying, dividing, using place value, using adding and subtracting, making those comparisons, to now solve these multi-step problems. Number 1. Malik collects stamps in an album that has 48 pages. He puts 8 stamps on each of the first 6 pages. Then he puts 15 stamps on each of the next 9 pages. How many stamps are in Malik's album? Right. Letter A asks us, how can we show what's happening in the problem? It's a couple of different things. We could draw a picture. We could use a visual model. We could write 2 equations. I'm going to go ahead and use a bar model to show it. So there's 2 sections, right? There's the first section and the next section. The first section has 6 pages. So I'm going to show those 6 pages. And each one has 8 stamps. The next section has 9 pages, so he has more pages in the next section. Okay, so there's my 9 sections. And this one, he puts 15 stamps on each of those pages. So the problem is asking us how many stamps are in the album. It only gives us information that there's a first section and a next section of pages. So in total, we know about 15 pages in the album, which leads us to letter B. Is there any extra information in the problem we don't need? It tells us right here there's 48 pages in the album, but does it tell us anything about the remaining pages after those first 15? It doesn't. So the 48 pages is extra information that we don't need. So letter C, what will the answer tell us? The number of stamps on the first 15 pages. We don't know about those other 33 pages. None of that information was given to us. So we can assume he only has stamps on the first 15. Take a minute to pause the video if you need to. And press play when you are ready. Right, letter D asks us, what do we need to do first to solve the problem? Well, it's kind of helpful that we have our picture drawn. Right? It shows us that we need to find these 2 answers, right? We need to find how many stamps are on the first section and how many stamps are on the next section. So we can find the number of stamps on each section of the album. Letter E is asking us for an estimation. I'm going to go back to the other slide. Yours is right above. 6 groups of 8 is going to be about 60. 9 groups of 15, that's about 10 groups of 15, so that's about 150. Now your estimation might look different. You might have wanted to do that a different way. This is how I would estimate. Because I know in total, there's going to be about 210 stamps. And then you would explain why, right? Because the first section will have about 60. The second section will have about about 150. When I added them together, I got 210. Right, so take a minute to pause if you need to do that. And then finally, letter F, we need to show how we can solve the problem. Well, the first section was 6 pages with 8 stamps each, plus our second section of 9 pages with 15 stamps each. And that will give us our answer. I know 6 times 8 is 48 because I know that fact. I don't know 9 times 15 in my head. I'm going to go ahead and draw myself a quick area model to solve. You might solve this using a different strategy. Whatever way you are most comfortable with multiplying, you can use to solve to find 9 times 15. For me, that's using an area model. 9 times 10 is 90. 9 times 5 is 45. When I add these two together, I know it's 10 more to get to 100. I'd have 35 remaining. So this would be 135. Right, go ahead and solve for your final answer by adding these two together. We get that there are 183 stamps in Malik's album. Number 2, on Monday and Tuesday, Anne bikes to the beach and back home. On Thursday and Friday, Anne bikes to the park and back home. How many miles does Anne ride her bike? Underline the information we need to solve the problem. Right, so we know on Monday and Tuesday, that's 2 days, she goes to the beach and back home. Right, so 2 ways. On Thursday and Friday, also 2 days, she goes to the park and back home. So we need to write equations for the number of miles she rides her bike. So to the beach, she rides to the beach and home. So it's 12 miles 2 ways, right? So she rides 12 miles 2 times over the course of 2 days. For the park, she rides 8 miles. Again, she has to ride those miles 2 times because she's going there and back. And she also does that over the course of 2 days. That's and that's it. How can we write an equation to find the number of miles she bikes in total? Well, we have our 2 equations here. We can set these apart using parentheses, but we're going to need to add them together to find the total. So I'm going to start with the beach, 12 times 2 times 2, plus the park, 8 times 2 times 2. Remember, I can use commutative property within each of these equations in the parentheses to help me solve it. I know my 12s. If you don't know your 12s, that might not be a helpful fact for you. But 12 times 4 is 48, and 8 times 4 is 32. And these are all equal. I missed this section. Would let t equal the total number. So equal t. So the total number of miles she's going to ride, 2 plus 8 is 10. So I know I'll get to 50 plus 30 will be 80. So she'll ride her bike a total of 80 what? 80 miles. All right, please go ahead and pause the video and press play when you're ready to check your work. All right, so let's go ahead and check your work. Corey will have $7 left. Here's the equation I used. I know we had $25 and he was going to spend some amount. That some amount was equal to the 3 packs times $6 a pack. So in order to find how much money Corey has left, I had to subtract that $18 he spent from the $25 he started with, and I had that he got $7 left.